When ChatGPT was released to the public in November 2022, it was only a matter of time before other tech giants started releasing their own versions. After all, Google had been at the forefront of AI development for years, and others like Facebook, Amazon, Intel, and Apple were following suit. But just when the world started warming up to Google's potential AI offerings, OpenAI emerged from the shadows and stole the spotlight. Now, in 2023, Google finally has an epic answer to OpenAI's game-changing chatbot, and it's called Bard. And that's how the face-off begins. But is Bard better than ChatGPT? What's the difference between these two chatbots? Join us as we uncover all the differences between ChatGPT and Bard, unveiling the mystery and finally giving the verdict on who takes the top prize. First up, what's the main difference between the two AI-powered chatbots? If you just look at the way Bard and ChatGPT tackle questions, then you'll already notice that they're very different. They're like rivals, with their own unique styles, which makes it all the more interesting to compare them. The real difference between Bard and ChatGPT lies in where they get their information. Bard is trained on a vast range of data, which Google likes to call an infiniset. This data is handpicked to make sure the chatbot's conversational abilities are unmatched. Interestingly enough, Bard also has the advantage of accessing real-time internet information. This means that every time you're using Bard, you don't need to worry about the information being outdated or capped. On the flip side, ChatGPT relies on a fixed dataset that hasn't been updated since 2021. If you give the chatbot a prompt that calls for more recent information, it will simply tell you about how its information cutoff is in September 2021, and that it can't access any information after that. Unless you have ChatGPT Plus, of course. If you invest in the paid version, then you get access to internet search that's powered by Bing. But unfortunately, even that feature has been limited recently, and OpenAI announced that they're still working on it. Both Bard and ChatGPT use sources like Common Crawl, Wikipedia, news articles, and documents, but the way they're trained and built sets them apart. It's like they have their own secret recipe for success. Now, let's talk about a few more things that make Bard and ChatGPT different. First off, coding prompts. ChatGPT is a total pro at giving you coding help. It's got that skill down pat. If you're a coder who needs their code revised or rewritten, just ask GPT for help. Unfortunately, Bard can't yet compete in that department. It's still learning the ropes, so it's not as good as ChatGPT just yet. Give it some time, though. Another thing to note is how they learn from conversations. ChatGPT can learn from talking with people, which is pretty cool. Bard, on the other hand, has a more limited way of learning from conversations right now. It's still got some catching up to do in that area. And finally, the way they handle responses is different, too. Bard can give you multiple responses to a single question. You can even see all the drafts it came up with. It's like you're getting a bunch of ideas in one go, and you can choose whichever you like the best. ChatGPT, on the other hand, sticks to one answer per question. It keeps it simple and straightforward. But hey, if you want a different answer, you can always ask ChatGPT to regenerate the response or give it a different prompt. So, when you compare Bard and ChatGPT, you see how they bring their own flair to the table. Next up, let's talk about user experience. What's the point of an AI-powered chatbot if you can't use it effectively, right? When it comes to user-friendly interfaces, Bard takes a giant leap ahead of ChatGPT. Not only does Bard have a sleek and polished look, but the perfectly formatted text makes it a breeze to scan through. Compared to ChatGPT's chunky text, using Bard seems much easier. But that's not all. One of the coolest features of Bard is the ability to edit your questions, even after you've asked them. Say goodbye to those moments of regret when you realized you phrased something incorrectly. And here's the icing on the cake. You can view multiple responses that Bard prepares for you. It's like getting a buffet of answers to choose from. If you thought that was impressive enough, then we've got more. Every response from Bard comes with a nifty call to action that says Google it. It's like having a built-in fact checker. Want to confirm the sources? Just click that button and it'll take you to the relevant information. And get this, Bard also integrates with your Google Workspace. You can easily upload Bard's responses to your Gmail or Google Docs. Now, let's talk about the downsides. Bard doesn't have a great memory when it comes to your previous conversations. It doesn't store or keep track of them. So if you ever want to refer back to an old prompt or draft, you'd have to ask Bard for it all over again. On the flip side, ChatGPT shines in this department. It shows you everything you've ever asked in a neat side panel. And you can pick up the conversation right where you left off. ChatGPT also uses information earlier in the chat to give you perfectly curated answers. So that's definitely a plus point. So, when it comes to user-friendliness, Bard brings its A-game with a sleek interface, editable questions, multiple responses, and quick access to sources. But if you're all about collaboration and preserving the chat history, then ChatGPT has your back. It's all about finding the chatbot that fits your style and needs. Now, which one's better at research and writing? Let's be real. Everyone has tried to use an AI chatbot for research and writing at some point. From university students trying to write papers to business owners writing lengthy blog posts, we've all been there. But if you've ever struggled to find the perfect research and writing assistant, then we're about to give you the solution to all your problems. If you're on the hunt for quick and concise answers on any topic, then we'd recommend using Bard. This chatbot knows how to find the most relevant information across Google and summarize it all for you. No need to click through endless pages or compare different sources. Bard does the heavy lifting and presents you with a neat package of information tied up in a bow. What's impressive is that Bard isn't just informative. It's also quite chatty. You might notice the enthusiasm about gathering research to make your life easier, and it's not shy about citing its sources along the way. It's like having your own research assistant at your fingertips. On the other hand, GPT takes the lead when it comes to natural language tasks. It's the go-to for many other AI tools like Jasper, Copy AI, and Bing's AI features. GPT is trained extensively on web text and focuses more on generating text based on statistical patterns. Within ChatGPT, it functions as a versatile chatbot that can also summarize, translate, and fulfill other textual roles. Even if you ask GPT to craft a tweet about a certain topic, then it will actually nail the whole style. It knows the rules of character count, emojis, and even hashtags. Unfortunately, Bard's copy was a little flat in comparison. It might be able to tell you exactly how to write a tweet, but won't be able to write a perfect one on your behalf. Also, when it comes to brainstorming blog ideas, crafting long-form articles or emails, and generating content marketing concepts, ChatGPT provides its expertise. So, what's the verdict? Well, it's pretty clear that GPT shines in understanding and generating various types of text for multiple purposes. It can write tweets, Instagram captions, blog outlines, emails, and much more. But when it comes to sifting through tons of articles and web pages, Bard takes the prize. So, while GPT shines in understanding and generating various types of text for multiple purposes, Bard seems to have been primarily designed as a research tool. Both have their strengths, but if you're looking for versatile writing assistance, GPT is the way to go. Next up, which one makes a better virtual assistant? If there's one universal use of an AI-powered chatbot, then it's virtual assistants. You just ask the chatbot to do those tasks for you that you don't have time to do yourself. As simple as that. If you're looking for a chatbot with multiple uses, then there's nothing better than ChatGPT. It also offers a massive variety of plugins that give you even more functionality. For example, with the Expedia plugin, you could simply tell ChatGPT about a trip you're thinking of booking, and it'll immediately find the cheapest flights, airport details, flight duration, and the prices. It's 10 times easier than going through the travel sites yourself and adjusting filters. Also, if that wasn't enough, then ChatGPT can also give you hotel options and other area-specific activities to explore. Now, you might argue that you can ask Bard to do the same, but unfortunately that doesn't work. In most cases, Bard will give you completely made-up prices and add images of logos of the airlines that are just plain distracting. You can also install a number of Chat GPT plugins to make your life easier. For example, you can ask GPT for recipe recommendations with an accurate calorie count using the Wolfram plugin, and then ask it to make a shopping list with the Instacart plugin. There's no denying that Chat GPT is the better personal assistant. Alright, that's a lot of comparisons. Let's do a quick rundown. What are the pros and cons of Chat GPT? Well, the pros are that it's better at generating long-form content, it gives you a more collaborative experience, and it has a whole suite of plugins that offer more uses with different apps. On the flip side, the cons are that only Chat GPT Plus gives you a web browser that's powered by Bing, but even that can be pretty slow and sluggish at times. Also, you might find it harder to scan through Chat GPT's chunky responses, and of course, all the information you get from there must be fact-checked. Now, let's move on to the pros and cons of Bard. Simply speaking, Bard has internet access powered by Google that's not only free, but also super fast. It's better at surfacing relevant information, and even images directly from Google search, to make your research process easier. And if that wasn't enough, then it also has a more user-friendly interface, with nicely formatted responses. But unfortunately, Bard is prone to hallucinations, so make sure you take everything it tells you with a pinch of salt. The sources aren't always reliable, so you might have to spend more time fact-checking. And for now, Bard gives you quite an isolated experience, with no plugins or app integrations. Finally, let's answer the big question. Between Chat GPT and Bard, who wins? Well, the truth is that the winner depends on what you're using the AI-powered chatbot for. If you're looking for a bunch of reliable sources and images for your research, then Bard is the winner. But if you're looking for a chatbot to rewrite or paraphrase some long-form text for you in a specific writing style, then Chat GPT is the winner. These are just two examples, of course. The possibilities of using these two chatbots in the workplace or otherwise are endless. Our advice? Keep watching our videos to stay up to date for all the latest AI info. And that's a wrap for this video. Which AI chatbot do you think is better? Let us know in the comments below. Before you head out, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel for more awesome videos like this. See you in the next one. Have a good time online learning team by Sir Asim.
Subscribe us.